welcome once again to another brilliant selection of cruise and stay holiday ideas from Cruise1st TV. Now, as a company, we're approaching our 25th birthday. Can't wait to say happy birthday to us. And we're taking advantage of the amazing cruise line relationships to offer you dream holidays with low deposits and lots of free at sea freedom with Norwegian Cruise Line in this show.
That is absolutely right. So if you want the most incredible boutique cruises and destinations, look no further. We've got a Bali to the Barrier Reef package coming up for April, and we're off to the Dominican Republic for a stay with an awesome Caribbean cruise for the start of 2026. And our offers today are fantastic, so they're definitely worth snapping up.
Yeah, absolutely. Deposits of just £199 each today to lock in our deals and take advantage of being free at sea with premium drinks, specialty dining, Wi-Fi and excursion credits, all as part of the deal. And the first of those is taking us to Asia to experience Thailand, Sri Lanka and the Indian Ocean in just under 3 weeks of holiday for the 19th of January in 2026. Now we fly first over to Singapore, a city we love to go and visit, and we've got a 2-night hotel stay here. We must now be the encyclopedia of Singapore, Jo, right. One way or the other.
Singapore is an enchanting place, somewhere I always feel I'd like to spend more time, and I've only ever stayed there for 2 days at a time maximum, but I tell you what, it does stay in your mind, it really does. From the lush tropical weather that hits you the minute you step out of the airport, through to the beautiful gardens, lovely shopping, friendly locals, fantastic cuisine. It has something for everybody, really. Then it's time for us to cruise on board the beautiful Norwegian Dawn. We're going to be on board for 16 nights. The Dawn is a classy ship. I have been fortunate enough to visit myself, and the lovely thing about the Dawn is you feel like you're in luxury when you're on board Dawn class, but at the same time it's not too imposing because it's freestyle cruising. So with Norwegian, they have pioneered this concept about not having to book for anything. Now, well, okay, I will just say that when you're doing a specialty dining restaurant, you do need to book for that. But other than that, your shows, your main dining, your buffet, all of those things, it's when you want to go and if you want to go. So it really is, I think, the most versatile cruising that can be on offer. And I absolutely love the feel of Norwegian. They're very vibrant, fresh, modern cruising. And also they have lots of fun parties to enjoy, including the White Hot Party, which is the signature party on Norwegian. Everyone gets dressed in white and has glow sticks. It's super fun up in the disco, should you want to join in. There's lots of other themed nights on offer throughout this voyage. Depending on where you're traveling in the world, they will have theme nights accordingly. And of course, we're heading over to Sri Lanka and Thailand, so you're going to have sort of thematic elements to that as well, from the buffets that they offer out on deck through to the shows, including cruise shows, by the way. They do a big show every cruise, which includes the crew, which is super fun to watch and participate in. So we are out of Singapore into beautiful Phuket in Thailand, down in the south of Thailand, with the perfect powder white sands and incredible marine life. You might want to head over to Phi Phi Island for some beautiful snorkeling and sea kayaking whilst you're there. Then we're on into Colombo in Sri Lanka, known for its tea and gemstones. Yes, you can go and see a tea plantation or learn how the sapphires are mined whilst you're there, or perhaps head to the iconic Temple of the Tooth. Not as freaky as it sounds, I promise you. Off into Mali and the Maldives next, where we enjoy an overnight on board. And the wonderful thing about this capital of the Maldives is that you've got the town centre with the great markets to enjoy, but they have, look at the beaches and the marine life. Beautiful. Incredible coral right there. If you love to dive, this will be paradise for you, or even just to skim the surface with some snorkeling perhaps. Then it's La Digue in the Seychelles, where you'll find incredible granite rock formations and lovely turquoise water lagoons, which are wonderful for swimming. In fact, there's 42 granite islands in the world, and this is one of them, so really quite interesting. Another port in the Seychelles awaits, Port Victoria, which is known for its lovely botanical gardens. The Seychelles Botanical Gardens and Capolia Trail are definitely worth a visit whilst you're there. I think walking in the lush tropical jungles will be a special experience. Nosy Be, Madagascar next, probably the most interesting named port on all of the itineraries that we do. And you know, again, you're going to be in Madagascar, so you'll want to see some of the wildlife, perhaps some of the incredible lemurs whilst you're there. We have got an overnight on board in beautiful Port Louis, Mauritius, known for its most stunning pamplemousses, botanical gardens and wildlife. You can see the giant tortoise there, for example, amidst loads of other tropical wildlife. You might want to head as well to the waterfront to go enjoy La Caldana at night, which is lovely. We're going to fly you back to the UK after this epic adventure, going to some really sort of far off the beaten track ports whilst you're on this itinerary too. I think it's just going to be wonderful.
Do you know what? I was just looking at this itinerary and I was just, going through all of the different places that we were, and it's great to have a little snapshot into each. There's more details on all the ports, by the way, on our website. If you just pop in NCL 355, you'll get more details on all of these places. Obviously, we only have like 10 seconds per place to give you ideas of things to do there. There are a wealth of other things. There are more excursions on the ship as well. I was looking at this itinerary and thinking, this is the kind of itinerary I quite fancy for one of the next kind of cruise with Derek's down the line. Do you know what I mean? Something a little bit off the beaten track, something that goes to somewhere like the Maldives and the Seychelles. I mean, they are just, you just hear the words, don't you? It's like hearing Bali, isn't it? And you just think paradise. It's the same for the Seychelles. It's the same for the Maldives. I would love to see Thailand. Would love to see Thailand. And a cruise is a great way of doing it, because these might all be unfamiliar places, unfamiliar parts of the world, but you're coming back every night to the familiarity of the cruise ship, of course, which is incredible. So deposits on this holiday today, just £199 each. Great luxury getaway as well, remember, with Norwegian for the start of 2026. We fly you out to Singapore. There's 2 nights in a hotel there. And then you've got your cruise on the Norwegian Dawn for 16 nights. Now, while you're on the cruise, you're enjoying the free at sea upgrade, which is great. So that's premium drinks package, 2 nights of specialty dining without cover charges included. You've got a Wi-Fi package, and you've got $50 per cabin per destination shore excursion credit. So which is really, really good. So you can start choosing those excursions with credits already factored in, which I think is great. Plus, of course, your flight back from Mauritius at the end. And remember, you have the overnight on board in Mauritius before you fly back. So you are enjoying the place before you fly back to it. And of course, if you wanted to add a couple of nights in a hotel while you're in Mauritius, of course you can, no problem. Today's deposit, $199 each. Here's your price tag for the whole package, which, you mentioned Mauritius, the Maldives, Thailand, all of these, Singapore stay and all of that. And you build up quite a huge number in your head. Considering all the places you're travelling to and just how much is included on the cruise and just how beautifully we've stitched this whole package together for you, I think again, coming up to celebrating 25 years in the cruise business as we are here at Cruise1st, I think that price today in 2024, where it's more difficult than ever to try and keep a hold on prices, is incredible. It offers you the world on a plate. Here's the upgrade prices. So if you do want to go up to Ocean View or up to balcony, the price is there for you on screen. But give this one your consideration. Maybe, if you're watching on Sky, of course, your Sky controller has the rewind function, so you can rewind. You can watch the whole show again on demand on YouTube as well. All of our shows are there. Have a look at it on the website as well. Go through all of those destinations. See just how broad the travel is on the overview of the itinerary. You can literally click on all the places on the itinerary as well, find out more information about them, updated by our team. And if you want to chat with our team, by the way, about any of these places, about how you can tailor this stay, longer in Singapore, stay in Mauritius at the end, fly to somewhere else on the way home, just call us. We can make a package for you. And the big advantage of making a whole package for you as a holiday is that we protect the whole thing. If you do all of the arranging with us in your initial booking, then every penny you spend protected by our ATOL license and our ABTA bonding, and that's really, really important when you're taking big adventures like this. So anything we can help you with, or if you just fancy this as it is, 0800 953 4700. You can call us 7 days a week, and I know I'm at pains to keep saying this, but if you're watching this on a Saturday afternoon thinking, well, I won't call on Saturday afternoon, they won't be there, we will. Same on a Sunday as well. All day, 7 days a week, we are there for you to talk to. And remember, we major on cruise. It's in our name, Cruise1st. It's what we do. We can't book you a week in a holiday park in the Lake District, but we can book you cruises wherever you like around the world, and team it up with tours and hotel stays, and of course the flights as well. Right. Let's move on and do another deal, shall we? I see Sydney behind us in the background there. It's absolutely wonderful. I'd love to be there. Next, actually, we will be visiting Australia as well, because we're going to the paradise of Bali and a cruise to Australia's Great Barrier Reef. Now, it's a 21-night package, and it comes up soon, actually. It's funny, isn't it, to think that April is just not that far away at all. It's ridiculous. First thing we do is fly over to gorgeous Bali. We're stopping, relaxing, breathing and staying in this paradise for 3 fabulous nights. Any suggestions, Joe?
Oh, goodness. Anything you want, anything your heart desires. Bali is a magical, relaxing and beautiful place. There's nowhere quite like Bali. It's got a real spiritual undercurrent which carries through the whole island, from the incredible temples you'll see through to the meditation and yoga that are readily available as well. The massages there are world class, and I love the fact I can go and have a lovely leg massage for a couple of quid. It's brilliant. Amazing food, friendly locals, stunning beaches, everything you want in a holiday destination, and so much more. I mean, it's perfect. It's picture perfect paradise. Then we're going to join the Norwegian Sun, and you'll have an overnight on board in port in Bali. So that brings us to a total of 4 nights in fabulous paradise before you go on to another different type of paradise, where we also give you all-inclusive luxury. So you're going to be enjoying your drinks, your Wi-Fi, $50 per port, shore excursions credit per cabin as well, and a specialty dining, or 2 specialty dining nights included, which is brilliant. That's a lot already packed into your fare, so less to worry about whilst you're on board the ship as well. One of my favourite classes of NCL ship, which is just that more relaxed mid-range size, so not too big. Some of the new kind of mega ships from NCL are fantastic. There's definitely a place for those in the market, but this one I think is perfect, particularly for couples if you're cruising, or smaller groups. I think this is going to be ideal for you, as it's a very relaxed vibe on board the Sun. Lovely friendly crew on board, great lounges to sit and relax around the ship. It's, as they say in the Caribbean, no shirt, no shoes, no problem. It is that kind of vibe on NCL because it's freestyle cruising. So they don't actually have a featured formal night. You can dress up if you wish, but it is all about the relaxed, low-key feeling of traveling to this part of the world. And as we are going to be heading, of course, into incredible Australia, I think this is going to be take at your own pace and enjoy some of the natural wonders. So we are cruising out of Benoit for Bali, and we have an overnight in Lombok, which is unusual to see on any itinerary, that extra time to enjoy what many call Bali 30 years ago. So it's a sister island, but it's motor vehicle free. It's full of lush waterfalls. You've got the Mount Rinjani, the volcano there to visit as well, highest peak in Indonesia. And then we're on into Komodo. Now this is really interesting because it is part of the Lesser Sunda Islands, and it's the rugged habitat of the 3-meter-long Komodo dragon monitor lizard. It is also, awash with lots more wildlife to visit whilst you're there. Then we're on into Darwin in Australia. Known as Australia's top end, you can visit Crocosaurus Cove and, wait for it, cage dive with the crocs. I'm not even kidding. Only for the brave, of course.
Or watch somebody else doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's Cookstown, Australia. And again, we don't see this on many itineraries. Up near the Daintree Rainforest. It is up in Brisbane. Absolutely beautiful tropical part of Australia. Lots of history here, named after Captain Cook, of course, one of the first founders of Australia. Then we're on Townsville, which is known as the unofficial capital of North Queensland. And it's at the mouth of the dry tropics. You have got the rainforests up there, of course. You've got sanctuaries to visit with Australian wildlife, which is great. Then we're on into the heart of the reef, Airlie Beach, where you can visit the incredible Whitsunday archipelago, but indeed you could take a helicopter or a float plane tour over the reef and see that iconic heart as well. Just unforgettable experience. Then it's Port Douglas, where you can take the fantastic cable car up to the Kuranda Railway, the scenic railway, whilst you're there. See the Aboriginal Cultural Park, and we're not far from Daintree Rainforest as well. Really magical part of the world. Now, we're going to disembark in Cairns. We have a 2-night hotel stay. Relatively new kind of thing we've started doing is these stays in Cairns, and it's lovely to have time up there, because I have to say, it's one of those places that I experienced and wanted to stay much, much longer. And I'll never forget the magic of Cairns, just the tropical vibes, the relaxation, excursion, the incredible reef, of course, because you are in the heart of the Barrier Reef here. So you could charter a boat to take you out to the reef and go snorkeling. You could fly over it. You could kayak over it. You know, any number of things await you in this magical part of the world. And it was once, of course, the gateway to the goldfields of North Queensland. So you've got that part of the history as well of Australia. And you're not too far from Surfers Paradise. So lots to see and do. We're going to fly you back to the UK after this epic adventure of Indonesian delights and fantastic, magical Northern Australia, northeastern Australia, shall I say.
I wonder whether you can still pan for gold.
You can.
As well, can you?
You can in Australia.
Oh, that would be good to do as well. Do it with a local miner as well, someone that has been doing it for a long, long time, and that would be a really, really genuine, fantastic experience to have as well. I can just imagine. I can see the miner right now, and I can hear his stories and his accent ringing through already. I'd love to see an email postcard from this one. It'd be amazing. Sheila. Yes, absolutely. Not long to wait for this adventure either. Comes up in April, so we fly you out to Bali for a 3-night stay there, and then you cruise Oz on the Norwegian Sun for 2 weeks, ending in Cairns with a 2-night hotel stay there, and then the flight back to the UK. And of course, you know, we saw Sydney on the screen earlier. If you wanted to nip down to Sydney as well as part of this holiday, we could get you a couple of nights in Sydney as well before you come back. I mean, listen, you're going the other side of the world, going from Cairns to Sydney on an internal flight. You could do and have a couple of nights in a hotel there before you do that big travel back, because of course flying to Australia, I did the Google Earth thing the other day where I put the UK in and Australia and looked at like the flight routes. It's like, wow, it's a long, long way, isn't it? And actually, with it being so far away, I think people often look and they think that the price tags are going to be like in the tens of thousands. But look, that's the price for your package. And remember, while you're on the cruise, which is the lion's share of this, it's 16 of the 21 nights, of course, you're all-inclusive, premium drinks, 2 nights of specialty dining included, $50 of shore excursion credit per port per cabin, and a Wi-Fi package is all part of your offer there at £3,099. And you've got a low deposit today, which I think is £199 each, isn't it? Which is, you know, happy days. But this comes up in April, so, you know, maybe you've got a big birthday coming up in April and you've always fancied going down to Australia and doing it. Team it up with the stay in Bali. It's just perfect, isn't it? Let's have a look at the details to upgrade then on board. I mean, you're pretty upgraded as it is in terms of drinks package and, you know, add-ons with the free at sea, which is great. But if you want to up the cabin as well to something bigger with a bigger view of the ocean, or of course the fresh air, opening the doors and getting out there first thing in the morning to enjoy the balcony. There is something, I will say it forever and ever and ever. I sat here and talked on TV for nearly 15 years about cruise right now, and I really get the fact that when you are booked on a balcony, it makes the prospect of the holiday more exciting. You've got that slight, I don't want to call it one-upmanship, because it's not that really at all, because it's you that's enjoying the benefits of that. But I just think, you know, when you're telling people about the holiday, it definitely pops up in conversation. You definitely, and we have a balcony. You know, you definitely add that to the mention, don't you? It's not just I'm going to Australia and Bali, and while I'm on the cruise, you know, the drinks are included and whatever, and we have our own balcony. There's just something about that, isn't it? It's kind of like psychological, really, isn't it? But it is lovely. It's lovely to do.
It's a great experience.
It is, and you should do it. Listen, while you can, you should. Now, when Norwegian Cruise Line call an itinerary best of the Caribbean, they really do mean it. Every trip you take with them is full of adventure. So let's go and take that wonderful sailing in February in 2026 over a holiday of 15 nights. And we fly first from the UK, unusually, straight over to the east of the Dominican Republic to Punta Cana, and we're going to enjoy a 2-night hotel stay there before we cruise. Well, we're straight into the Caribbean, so, you know, happy days. And the Dominican, people talk about it all the time, Joe.
Oh, it's amazing, the Dominican Republic. I was fortunate to visit actually went to visit a mine of Larimar, the gemstone that's from the Dominican.
Oh, yes.
And I fell in love with this island. It is incredible. You've got some of the best beaches along the Coconut Coast and lots of hidden lagoons and lush rainforests. One of my favourite excursions I did whilst we were there was zip lining through the jungle and then cooking delicious pizza, stone ground pizza on a hot traditional stove in the jungle afterwards.
Lovely,
it was unbelievable. You can visit the local villages whilst you're there, do a 4x4 excursion, see some incredible marine life, of course, and it's great for whale watching, whale and dolphin watching. Get one of the locals to take you out on an excursion and see these incredible creatures in their natural habitat.
Lovely.
Then it's time to cruise, and we are joining the fabulous, iconic Norwegian Sky for 12 nights. Lovely ship. Again, she's a mid-range, mid-size Norwegian ship, which are my favourite kind of Norwegian ship. I have to say, they just have such a relaxed beat and flair to them, and very friendly indeed. She's been massively renovated as well. She's undergone a huge renovation to add new venues, for example. And you've got 11 exquisite dining venues to choose from. Whatever you fancy, whatever you want to eat, and delicious pasta in La Cucina. You've got the French cuisine in Le Bistro. You have, of course, already the signature freestyle dining, where you can eat whenever you want in the dining room, and same thing with the buffet, of course. You've got room service on board. All of these hallmarks of the favourite things to explore and enjoy when you're on Norwegian. Lots of new refreshed lounges. So if you've been on Sky before, she's been around a few years. She used to do a lot of NASA back and forth cruises. So if you've headed over that, to get a little taster cruise, it's lovely to do a longer trip on her, especially in this part of the world.
And Norwegian are the experts, really, when it comes to their ship design at bringing the outside inside as well. So lots of windows, lots of light coming in, lots of deck space, lots of, dining al fresco and things like that, because it's very, very important. The funny thing is, well, it's not even a funny thing really, but when you're on a cruise, you kind of think, actually, there's so much going on the inside, you almost forget the outside. You almost forget the experience of actually sailing.
Yes.
Because, ships have changed so much. And it is very, very nice to just while away watching, where you're going to, watching the things that you're sailing past, just enjoying the weather out on deck, just letting your mind kind of, free in the breeze. It's quite nice to do, isn't it?
Let me tell you, there's nothing more spectacular than a Caribbean sunset and sail out from one of those ports, watching the sun sink down behind the ocean. It is magical. We're into Ranjastad Aruba as our first port here, where some tours you might want to enjoy include Discover Aruba with the Aloe Factory and Beach Getaway, because they're known for their aloe farming, and also the California Lighthouse and Ostrich Farm are must visits when you're there. We're into Willemstad, another one of the ABC Isles. Now, it does have a really charming area right by the dock that you can explore and buy traditional Dutch things in the Caribbean, like Dutch cheese and Delftware. I know it's random, but it's kind of a novelty to do it whilst you're there.
Yeah.
Then we're on into Bonaire. So we do all three ABC Isles on this itinerary. Kralendijk Bonaire. Now, this is one of the world-class snorkeling and diving destinations. So an ocean tour is an absolute must. Take a sailboat, catamaran, whatever you need to do to see that marine life. Then we're on to St. George's, Grenada. Now, some things you might want to see here include just strolling through the sculpture park and maybe heading over to the boutiques that surround it. That's a nice thing to do. There's actually lots to do in the downtown area. Then we're on to Scarborough for Trinidad and Tobago. Now, the neighbouring island of Tobago is lush and gorgeous, and I'd recommend it for a more low-key day. Trinidad is bustling and exciting, full of markets and adventure. Then we're on into Bridgetown, and Bridgetown is probably a destination for many Brits heading to the Caribbean. Now, Harrison's Cave is amazing, as is Sandy Lane. Maybe you want to take in a nice afternoon tea in a fancy hotel in Sandy Lane whilst you're there, or shop in Line Grove for some luxury. Then we're on to Castres in St. Lucia, where you might want to take a dolphin safari, and I have to say that is amazing. Seeing these creatures in their natural habitat is unforgettable. You also have a little exploring to do downtown. Then it's St. George's in Antigua. Now, talking of downtown, right there in Redcliffe Quay, you have great craft boutiques and restaurants. You can even shop for evening dresses. They have everything right there. Next up, we are into Basseterre and St. Kitts. Now, this is known for the incredible Brimstone Hill Fortress. You also have Nevis Bath Springs if you want to enjoy kind of the thermal springs, which these islands are known for. More monkeys per capita than people in St. Kitts, interestingly enough. Then it's Philipsburg St. Martin, which is an island of two nations, France and Holland. Right there on Front Street, you have incredible shopping, great dining, and one of the most beautiful beaches you will ever see, all down downtown, so easy reach. Then Tortola awaits. Now, after perhaps a lot of relaxing at the beach, you might want to head off further afield and go over to the incredible springs in Virgin Gorda, where they have these lovely rock formations and a natural bath that accompanies the rock formations. Now we're back into the Dominican Republic, where we'll disembark, and we will fly you back to the UK after a real port-intensive adventure. I don't feel like we've missed out a single port there in the Caribbean. It feels like we've got south and we've got east, all in one.
What did we say at the beginning? They've called the itinerary the best of the Caribbean, and when Norwegians say something like that, listen, because you don't see, there's not a sea day in that itinerary either, which is really, really good. I mean, in the Caribbean, you just want to go visiting. You want to go visiting as many places as you can. And just a quick thing on the Dominican Republic. Joe mentioned the gemstone Larimar. That is the gemstone that looks like the Caribbean sky, just with wispy white clouds going through. You will have heard of it before, and you will find it in the Dominican Republic as well. Bring some home, because it will just be that magical, treasured memory of that holiday.
You can find it on the beach over there.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We'll just go look on the beach.
I'll bring you some next time from the beach.
Oh, it's a deal. Right, deposits today on this holiday, just £199 each to secure the deal. That's the flight out to the Dominican, 2 nights there, and then your 12 nights of cruising on Norwegian Sky, all inclusive, of course, of the drinks, the 2 nights of speciality dining, Wi-Fi, and shore excursion credits, plus, of course, your flight back from the Dominican as well. Really? Wowzers. Okay, this is good. This is really good. Again, that's us. And Norwegian are one of the biggest cruise lines out there as well. And these ships are absolutely beautiful. That's an incredible price tag. Okay, let's have a look at the upgrades then, because if we're starting this good, then let's look at going up. It's funny, when you were going through the itinerary and Scarborough came up, I met lots of ears in Yorkshire picked up and said, oh, the cruises are coming into Scarborough now. Oh, no, not that one, the one in the Caribbean. But it's amazing. We love our Scarborough as well. Never knock our Scarborough. Love it. With the harbour bar and the best ice cream in the UK if you ever go to Scarborough. It is very good indeed. Right, other date for the package as well is the 12th of January in 2026. So you can go on this date, which is the 2nd of February, for that price, or you could go slightly earlier on the 12th of January in 2026. Either way, low deposit. If you want the price for the January date, just give the team a call now on 0800 953 4700. I mean, when it comes to the appeal of the Caribbean, I mean, I guess our job, one way or the other, is to sell these holidays, but I don't ever feel like when we talk about the Caribbean that actually, it's like you'll love the Caribbean. You don't need to tell people they'll love the Caribbean. They just will, won't they?
It sells itself.
Yeah.
I mean, those beaches, that ocean, and when you see it for the first time, it blows your mind. Like, you've never seen an ocean like that. As much as I love the Mediterranean, the Caribbean is a whole different ball of wax, and you'll see that ocean, that sand, and you'll just be enthralled, really. Yeah. I mean, it is about, like you said, getting out there, enjoying the beaches, enjoying the flair of the Caribbean, getting out, enjoying the rainforests, and and relaxing and taking that time to really drink in the moments that we could be too perhaps distracted to do at home or on a busier itinerary, so to speak. So this is perfection if you just really want to get off and away from it all.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. Plenty of ideas in that show. And guess what? In a couple of minutes, we'll have even more. See you later.
See you soon.